Oh, I know. A lot of what I'm going to be complaining about today can be mitigated via Wickerbottom's newest novel, Practical Rain Rituals. However, that in and of itself is the issue here. Why are a bunch of potentially awesome wetness mechanics now locked behind a specific character or two? Not only that though, how is it that water balloons here are so interesting, yet still limited in what they can do after all these years, as they were the OG wetness things anyways? I don't know, folks, but it really grinds my gears. Because here's the thing, it's not like they've been outright ignored or anything, as the splashers have made a splash themselves in updates as recent as the WX78 rework with their infinite ice farms, for Pete's sake. This is neat and unique and downright useful too, I might add. So again, it's not like water balloons are worthless at the end of the day. And heck, say what you will about Wes and his worth, but the fact of the matter is, the guy can turn 4 water balloons into a pile of them, only to turn around and create balloons that will speed us up, help our sanities, protect us from Davy Jones's locker, and plenty more. It's all good stuff to consider for sure. And to add to the positive side of things, they're easy to access too, just as long as you don't mind bugging some of the constant's bugs. Mosquitoes spawn from purple ponds found in our swamps come dusk, and nowadays, they do so very quickly, so be prepared to do a lot of dodging. That said, they're still very simple to kill, as you can always get the first hit in and stun lock them, so make note there. Now, 50% of the time, a mosquito will be dropping a mosquito sack upon death, and these things can be individually filled at any pond for a single water balloon, as you can see, or can be combined with ice at a science station to help craft 4 water balloons in one go. Obviously, the latter is the way to go if you want some efficient balloon action, so get to it. But hold up, Beard, I haven't heard much complaining from you yet. In fact, water balloons are sounding rather awesome actually. Oh, don't worry, friends. We're still in the guide portion of this video. The questions will be dropped later on. But speaking of dropping stuff, what happens when things get a balloon dropped on them? Well, for ourselves and other players, we should expect every hit to instantly lower our temperatures by 5 degrees while also increasing our wetness by 20 per balloon. No surprise here, especially with how fast we can spam these things. Both can be abused and both present other mechanics like freezing or the dampening of clothing and items, which also leads to sanity loss if things get too out of hand. But I also imagine that it has quite an effect on any PvPers out there whenever they're taking advantage of a water balloon's area of effect, as you can see here. But what about some other practical uses for these things? Are there any? For sure. Just don't expect much, unfortunately. Water balloons can put out fires in a small radius and supposedly help prevent stuff from catching fire again for about 30 seconds. But even if that's true, it doesn't mean much. Fans and watering cans can do this too, and the latter is infinitely refuelable. But hey, at least that means we can put ourselves out if we happen to be ablaze too. Other than that though, the only other day-to-day use out there would be a water balloon's ability to soak our soils for about 20 added wetness per balloon per tile. Once more though, I'd let the watering cans take care of that. But hold up, Beard. Is that really it? Are you telling us that even though these balloons can clearly make players and farms and fires wet, that they can't actually render anything else wet? Yes, I am. I cannot tell you how many times people have tried to correct or tell me about how water balloons can and should be used against mobs or the environment over the years, only for me to respectfully put them in their place, only for them to turn around and still think that I'm wrong. But hey, I'm gonna tell you here once again, only players and Dragonfly are impacted by water balloons, you numpties. But hold up for the third flippin' time today, Beard. The heck you mean by the Dragonfly nonsense? Well, I mean exactly what I just said. For whatever reason, Dragonfly is the only mob in this entire game that is able to have its quote-unquote hidden wetness meter raised by water balloons and not just the rain. Now we can do it at any time too, and just like us, her meter has a maximum of of 100 wetness. Unlike us, however, any electrical damage done to her as her wetness climbs is actually going to scale instead of instantly maxing out. It's honestly intriguing stuff that only adds to the infuriating nature of water balloons, but before we talk about all that, do note this. Dragonfly's enrage mechanic can be stopped via 5 water balloons, and any wetness she had before it is going to instantly fade the moment it happens. Have fun though. So, what do you think of water balloons now that you know everything you need to know about them, folks? Well, minus a fun fact about how wetness-proof clothing is going to prevent the splashing, but not the temperature decrease, I suppose. But still, you think you can make a judgment call after today? I can, and it's mixed. There is no doubt in my mind that they have their uses, and that some of them are truly fascinating. But they're hidden for some reason, it seems. I also think the effect they have on us and other players is fun and appropriate, albeit the lack of uses beyond all that is absolutely confounding after all these years. So when I put it all together, I cannot help but ask the question why over and over and over again. Why not let us make everything wet, even if it doesn't make sense? Why continue to neglect the possibility of electrical damage in this game, as it's really cool? And perhaps biggest of all, why keep placing all the wetness mechanics, be them individual or literally world-altering mind, in the hands of a select few instead of the whole group in one fell swoop? The answer to that, especially the latter question, is right here. It's water balloons. They need to be reworked, Clay. And I don't really care how or when you do it. It just needs to get done. Water balloons have been in this game for far too long to not matter in some major capacity, I feel. Especially when they can open so many doors to so many possibilities. But hey, that's just one Beard's opinion. Folks, there you have it. A somewhat hybrid video that's part guide, part soapbox. Let me hear your thoughts down below. And who knows, maybe the very next quality of life update is gonna shut me up and answer all my soggy questions. Thanks for watching, everyone. Well wishes to all. Be prepared to get wet. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.